I want to look at a rear hand punch today and 4 mistakes that come up a lot in class. The first 2 have to do with the sending the punch out, and the next 2 have to do with bringing the punch back. So the first 2, well, let me throw the punch first. And I can throw this from whatever stance. We're going to throw it from a lead for most of the examples today. The first one is a hip mute for you CrossFitters, or an arm punch. So an arm punch looks like this, where this portion of the body isn't moving at all into the strike. Typical for people when they first learn the strike in the air. So get them to hit something usually and it'll fix itself, but sometimes you still have to tell them to move the foot, the hip, and the torso into the strike. The next fault is similar. It's a lean forward or a torso punch. So more typical of men than women, but both genders do it. It's going to be leading forward, sort of believing that the upper body is where all the power comes from. And the punch looks like this, or sometimes even has this very exaggerated sort of roll of the shoulder. So you've got to encourage that person to move from their hip and their foot. There. So the next 2 faults have to do with going backwards with the punch. The first one is it actually makes people hit harder, but it creates a big opening to get counter-punched. It's a drawback before they punch. They'll bring their strike back and then out. Sometimes they'll draw it like this. Whatever the case, they're creating a big opening to get hit. So tell them to fire from their chamber, not to pull back. Sometimes you can stand behind them and hold your hand right there. And if they touch your hand, they did it wrong. The last one is returning to chamber. So a lot of times when we drill in the air, people will strike and then bring it back. Encourage them soon to put as much emphasis on that return as they do on the out. Just as bad, maybe even worse, is the drop here. Encourage them to bring it back in a straight line to chamber, so there's not this opening to get hit in the interim. So a basic rear hand punch.